In the quiet neighborhood of Central Park in Denver, Colorado, 24-year-old Jasmine Sigorowa was building the life she had always dreamed of, a dedicated student just months away from completing her master's degree in accounting at the University of Utah. But on March 8, 2021, that future was violently stolen from her. When Jasmine failed to respond to calls and messages from concerned friends and family, something entirely out of character for the reliable young woman. Those who knew her immediately sensed something was terribly wrong. Their fears would be tragically confirmed days later, when investigators made a grim discovery in a desolate area of Adams County. The subsequent investigation would reveal the dark reality that had been hiding behind closed doors, a relationship marred by abuse, control, and escalating violence. This is the story of Jasmine Sigorowa, of a life filled with promise, of justice delayed but ultimately served. Jasmine Sigorowa's story began with ambition and determination. Born to a close-knit family that valued education and hard work, Jasmine had always been academically driven. By early 2021, she was on the verge of completing her master's degree in accounting at the University of Utah, commuting between Denver and Salt Lake City to balance her studies with her personal life. Home for Jasmine was an apartment in the 7500 block of East 28th Avenue in Denver's Central Park neighborhood, a modern community that had risen from the former Stapleton Airport site. She shared this space with her husband of less than 2 years, Jonathan Nuno Mijangos, who was 23 at the time, and their dogs. From the outside, the couple appeared to be young professionals building their lives together, with Jonathan expressing interest in becoming a physician's assistant. However, beneath this facade of normalcy lay a troubled relationship. Court records and interviews with friends and family revealed a pattern of domestic violence that had emerged early in their marriage. In 2019, Jonathan had been arrested on suspicion of domestic violence and charged with second-degree assault after allegedly attempting to strangle Jasmine, a particularly alarming form of domestic violence that experts recognize as a significant predictor of future homicide. Like many victims caught in the cycle of abuse, Jasmine had dropped the charges against her husband, and the couple reconciled. This pattern of separation and reunion continued throughout their relationship. As one friend later testified, she has tried leaving, and he apparently has tried leaving too, but they always come back together. By early 2021, the relationship had reached another breaking point. Approximately 3 to 4 months earlier, Jasmine and Jonathan had another violent confrontation that resulted in police intervention. According to her brother, Jonathan had attempted to pull Jasmine from her car during an argument outside their apartment. Feeling unsafe, Jasmine had called both her family and the police for help. When Denver police officers arrived, they made Jonathan leave the area. Following this incident, the couple separated for approximately 2 months, with Jonathan moving in with his parents while Jasmine remained in their apartment. During this period, Jasmine had begun attending therapy sessions to help her navigate her relationship issues and personal struggles with depression and anxiety. She was actively working toward healing and potentially making the difficult decision to end her marriage permanently. However, in what would become a fatally misguided choice, Jasmine allowed Jonathan back into her life when she fell ill, and he offered to care for her. Friends reported that Jasmine had recently confided in them about the extent of the abuse she had endured, saying, "I have a confession to make. I haven't been completely honest with you. I've been in an abusive relationship with Johnny, and I've gone to the hospital a few times because of it." Despite these challenges, Jasmine remained focused on her future. She was scheduled to graduate from her master's program in the coming months, with plans already in motion to celebrate this milestone. She and Jonathan had discussed traveling to Utah for her graduation ceremony, a trip that would never come to pass. The couple's neighbors were well aware of their tumultuous relationship, reporting frequent arguments where Jasmine could be heard threatening to leave. What no one could have predicted was how tragically prophetic those threats would become, or how violently Jonathan would react to the prospect of losing control over his wife. According to Jonathan's later statements to police, the couple woke up, walked their dog, and showered together before discussing their upcoming trip to Utah for Jasmine's graduation. Jonathan claimed they spoke about purchasing plane tickets and reserving a hotel, painting a picture of a couple with future plans and a solid relationship. By his account, he left for work around 9 a.m., leaving Jasmine at home in her pajamas as she prepared to work remotely. At approximately 10 a.m., Jonathan claimed to have received a text message from Jasmine stating she planned to go out with friends that evening. He says he replied simply, "Okay, be careful," explaining to investigators that asking for details about her plans in the past had led to arguments. But significant discrepancies in this timeline would soon emerge. Jasmine had a therapy appointment scheduled for 1 p.m. that day, which she uncharacteristically missed. Friends who tried to reach her throughout the day received no response, and her father noted that she failed to send her usual morning text message checking in with him, something she did faithfully every day. The couple's downstairs neighbors would later provide crucial testimony that contradicted Jonathan's version of events. They reported hearing a huge boom from the couple's apartment around 11 a.m., a sound so loud it woke several household members and was distinctly different from the usual noise of the couple's dogs running around. This noise, which Jonathan would later attempt to dismiss as their dog playing with a chew toy, may have been the sound of violence that ended Jasmine's life. Shortly after this disturbance, neighbors heard the distinctive sound of Jasmine's red Mini Cooper starting up. The car sat idling for some time, as was Jasmine's typical habit, before departing. However, the neighbors noted that the engine sounded a little hesitant, and not the usual noise as it pulled away, suggesting an unfamiliar driver behind the wheel. What truly happened in that apartment remains known only to Jonathan, as he has never fully confessed. However, forensic evidence and his subsequent actions paint a grim picture. Medical examiners would later determine that Jasmine died from manual strangulation, the same violent act that Jonathan had been previously arrested for in 2019. The physical evidence suggests that sometime that morning, likely during or after the huge boom heard by neighbors, Jonathan strangled Jasmine to death in their apartment. In the hours that followed, Jonathan appears to have meticulously attempted to cover his tracks. The car movements witnessed by neighbors suggest he used Jasmine's Mini Cooper to transport her body from their home. Cell phone records would later place him at their apartment throughout the day, contradicting his claims of being at work. That evening, more suspicious activity was observed.
Top story on CBS in Denver. Family reported 24-year-old Jasmine Figueroa missing on March 10th. Her husband, Jonathan Nuno Mijangos, told police that she had gone out with friends, but investigators say he did that to cover up the crime. According to an arrest affidavit, police used cell phone records to determine he had been in rural Adams County, and that's where they found Figueroa's body.
The downstairs neighbors noted unusual car movements in the shared garage, with Jonathan's white car and Jasmine's red Mini Cooper being swapped in and out of the garage space, something highly out of character, as Jasmine was known to be particular about parking her car perfectly and rarely allowed Jonathan to drive it. Around midnight, neighbors saw Jonathan near the trunk of his car, another detail he would initially deny in police interviews. Cell tower data would later reveal that between midnight and 1 a.m. on March 10th, Jonathan drove east out of Denver on Interstate 70, traveling to the remote intersection of East 26th Avenue and Powhatan Road in rural Adams County. This desolate area, miles from the couple's home, would become the site where Jonathan disposed of his wife's body, hiding her remains in a narrow gully just 6 feet from the roadway. After this grim task, he returned to their apartment before 1 a.m., where he would spend the night, not in their shared bedroom but on the couch, a detail he claimed was due to his worry about Jasmine not coming home. The following morning, rather than immediately reporting his wife missing, Jonathan went to work as usual. It wasn't until 9 a.m. on Wednesday, March 10th, nearly 48 hours after Jasmine was likely killed, that he finally called 911 to report her missing, setting into motion the investigation that would ultimately expose his crimes. When Denver police officers responded to Jonathan's missing person report on the morning of March 10, 2021, they were met with a story that immediately raised red flags. Jonathan claimed that his wife had simply gone out with friends the previous morning and never returned, leaving her phone behind, an unusual action for anyone in today's connected world, especially someone as responsible as Jasmine. The responding officer's first step was to interview neighbors, whose testimony would prove invaluable to the investigation. The downstairs neighbors provided critical information about the loud boom they had heard on Monday morning, followed by the unusual car movements throughout the day and evening. These details directly contradicted Jonathan's version of events and timeline, immediately casting suspicion on his story. Detectives then reached out to Jasmine's friends and family, uncovering more inconsistencies. Her scheduled therapy appointment had been missed, and she had failed to respond to multiple calls and messages. Jasmine's friend provided crucial context about the relationship, revealing that Jasmine had recently confided about being in an abusive relationship with Jonathan and having been hospitalized multiple times as a result. This history of domestic violence, including the 2019 arrest for strangulation, immediately elevated Jonathan from concerned husband to prime suspect in the eyes of investigators. When detectives allowed Jasmine's brother Francisco to enter the couple's apartment to look for clues, he noticed several suspicious details. Jasmine's car was parked imperfectly in the garage, something she would never do. All 3 to 4 pairs of her shoes were missing, and most alarming, the footage from their Ring doorbell camera had been deleted for the crucial period from 11 p.m. Tuesday until 7 a.m. Wednesday. Only Jonathan and Jasmine had access to the Ring account, and with Jasmine missing, detectives had little doubt about who had deleted that footage. By this point, investigators were treating the case as a potential homicide rather than a missing person case, and they brought Jonathan in for questioning. The interview, conducted by detectives, became a masterclass in slowly dismantling a suspect's false narrative.
Go back to Tuesday then. So why don't you just take me through your whole Tuesday, pretty much from the time that you woke up Tuesday morning till the time you called 911, I assume, and had an officer come out.
So Tuesday,
And just so we're clear, we're talking about this last Tuesday, which would have been March 9th.
yes.
Okay, all right.
So on Tuesday, woke up at 6:30.
Are you guys on the same? No, okay. All right.
Now,
So you wake up at
I
6:30.
woke up at 6:30. I went, walked the dog quickly, came back, took a shower. Went to use the restroom. Was being a guy, so I was scrolling on Instagram. She opened the door, was like, "You're not even in the shower yet." I'm like, "No, I'm sorry." Like, "This is why you're like running late." I'm like, "I know." And so we got in the shower, we took a shower together, talking about, hey, don't forget on Friday we need to buy our plane tickets and reserve the hotel since we're going out to Utah for her graduation.
Oh, okay.
For her master's degree. I was like, "Yeah, I remember. I'm going to send you whatever we're going to, even like, you're going to be okay. You're going to just stay like with $1 or $2 again." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay with that. We're going to your graduation." I got out, fed the dog. She was getting ready. She put on her PJs again, just blue shorts and the gray shirt.
For a moment, it appears to be that Jonathan's story has been accurate so far, but that will end when the detective starts throwing questions that puts him on a tight edge where he must contradict himself in his quest to make sense.
Your neighbors said they heard a loud bang?
That was probably the dog. She has a bone that's like unbreakable.
Unbreakable?
Yeah, because she goes through true twice quickly.
How big is this bone? Okay.
It's red and it's really loud. Like when she grabs it, like throws it, because she does the same thing with her treats.
Gotcha.
Her bone treats, and so those are breakable, and so she's been trying to break it and destroy it. So she does that a lot.
Okay. All right. Do you know your neighbors at all? No? Okay. You guys ever talk?
No, I put complaints on them because they're smoking weed when they're not supposed to in our building, and they also have a baby.
Gotcha.
And that's the bottom one.
Bottom ones, okay.
The new ones, I haven't even spoken with them.
Okay. She sent you a text on Sunday?
Not Sunday.
Not Sunday. Okay. She sent you the text on Wednesday.
No.
Okay, on Tuesday. I'm sorry. Too many days here.
Tuesday.
All right. Okay. Do you have your phone with you?
I do.
Can I see that text?
I don't have the text anymore.
Oh, okay. What happened to the text?
I just went through my phone and I go through my phone like every month and I just delete messages.
Oh, okay. So
this
do you
is
have
my
any-
mom, my coworker, because she said, "Hey, there's someone. Hey, Evan, you want me to tell you there's a cop or another guy standing right next to your car,
Oh, okay.
talking about the truck or some ish." Coworkers, because one of our coworkers is leaving, so we want to plan a party, and then my dad saying something about me being the account of their Sam's Club thing. That's it.
Okay. And
And
then
the only messages I have, I don't even have any like Facebook messages from her. I emailed her today. That's it. You want to see that?
okay, and that was sent
Today.
7:34 this morning.
I had to be over today at 7:45 to cover for a provider.
Okay.
For a provider today.
Jonathan's story is actually beginning to fall apart. First, the fact that he claimed all text messages has been deleted from his phone goes a long way to show how desperate he was to wipe off any social media evidence traceable to Jasmine's murder. And secondly, the story he gave about the cars parked on the garage, wasn't really in alignment with what neighbors had testified. Last of all, he claimed the loud sound heard the night of the murder was done by their dog breaking off a big bone, which is actually hilarious. These cooked-up stories put together would make the detective find a breaking point as the interrogation continues.
You park your car?
On the street.
Okay. Is it always in the street?
Or if there's like somewhere I can park it in like the back, because there's parking lots in the back.
That doesn't seem very fair. She's staying at home and her car's sheltered, but you gotta park your car out on the street when you're coming and going?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right, well, to each their own. So how long has her car been parked in that spot?
Since we moved in there.
Oh, okay, she doesn't drive it at all?
She drives it, but like, what do you mean?
Well, it's parked over at the house right now. We know that. Did she last park it, or did you last park it?
I last parked it.
You last parked it. When did you last park it?
I don't even remember.
Okay.
Maybe Monday?
Monday?
Yeah.
Okay. Because see, we talked to the neighbors, and they said that when they came out, it was kind of curious because her car sort of sticks out, and it was parked in its normal spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, they came back, and they said that the garage light was out, and your car was parked in her spot, and that her car was parked out on the street. And this would have been late Tuesday evening.
Late Tuesday evening?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't repark that? That
No.
didn't happen? Okay, all right.
My car was out on the parking lot.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, because they said that when they came back even later that evening, her car was parked back in the garage, and your car was back out in the street.
No,
In fact, they said that they saw you out by your trunk.
I did not.
Okay. All right, so you're saying that it was somebody else that was in your trunk after
My
midnight?
car was never inside the garage.
Okay,
The only time it was in the garage was 4 or 5 months ago when she left for a week to go to Colorado Springs,
okay,
and that was it.
okay. And your car was parked on the street then,
Yes.
pretty much from the time you got home
Mm-hmm.
till the next morning when you went to work?
Yes.
And you went to work at what time this morning?
I went to work this morning at 7:45.
At 7:45?
Yes,
Okay.
because my boss wanted me to go and work with another provider whose first appointment, the first patient was today at 8 o'clock.
And that was more important than your wife being gone all night long?
My in-laws have already made flyers. They're doing a search thing that I couldn't go to. I don't know what else to do but remain calm and just wait.
Okay, well, tell me when you went Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning,
Wednesday morning.
I didn't go anywhere but to work. I called the police officers. They came. I left to work at 7:50.
Okay.
And I went to work. I had to work at 8:25.
You didn't leave home shortly after midnight?
No, but I did not leave my apartment. I am not lying to you. I want my wife to come home. I don't know what else to do.
Start by telling me the truth.
I am telling you the truth.
Your story is not making any sense. And no reasonable person is going to look at this and say, this makes sense. Like I said, if you guys had a falling out and something happened, now is the time to get it out, because people make mistakes. And this investigation isn't going to go away. And we're doing a lot more than just checking your house and your car and her car. And I'm not going to go into details as far as what we're doing. But now is really your opportunity. If you made a mistake,
I
now
did
is
not
the...
make a mistake. I didn't do anything.
Jonathan has since denied leaving the house at the start of the interrogation, although that would soon change as the detective took advantage of the loopholes in his cooked-up stories.
I think you guys have been fighting a lot, and I think things were not going well, and I think at some point a line was crossed, somebody might have been hurt, it might have gotten worse, and I think now you are doing everything in your power to try and hide that.
No.
Listen, I don't think you're a bad guy. And like I said, if you made a mistake,
I didn't make a mistake.
now is the time to let us know, okay?
Fine, I did leave my house at midnight.
Okay, what happened?
I just drove. I drove and I just drove. That's it, that's all I did, I drove. I couldn't see. I I was worrying about her. I drove.
You know, the problem that I have with that story now is I asked you 3 separate times earlier in our interview about you leaving the house, and you didn't. If I can't believe you now, or then, how can I believe you now?
Because I drove. Okay.
Where did you drive?
I just got onto I-70 and I just drove.
Did you go east or west?
I went east.
Okay. How far did you go?
Tower Road, Smith Road.
Did you stop?
No.
Didn't stop at all?
No.
Not even once?
Yes, on Smith Road.
Okay, see, there we go again, as far as the whole untruthfulness. No, yes. You don't know what I know, okay?
Prior to the interrogation, the cops had tracked Jasmine's husband's phone and was reported to be at East 26th Avenue, at the same spot they would eventually find her corpse. On March 12, police went in search of the area, and to their greatest surprise, they found her body wrapped in a black bag, with signs she has suffered from severe strangulation. The case finally went to trial in August 2024, more than 3 years after Jasmine's murder. Nuno Mijangos, now 27 years old, stood before the judge and was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.